The text appeared on my phone at exactly 11:43 p.m. I've had my fun. Now I'm ready to be your wife again. For a long time, I simply stared at the screen. 6 months earlier, Emma had packed 2 suitcases, looked me in the eyes, and said she wanted to find herself. She insisted our marriage had become boring and that she deserved to experience life before settling down forever. I begged her to stay, not because I was weak, but because I still believed the promises we had made on our wedding day. She kissed my forehead, whispered, "You'll understand someday," and walked out without looking back. The silence she left behind was louder than any argument we'd ever had. The first few weeks were unbearable. Every room reminded me of her. I kept expecting to hear her laugh in the kitchen or find one of her books on the couch. Instead, there was only emptiness. Friends eventually told me they had seen her traveling, attending parties, and living the carefree life she had dreamed about. Every story felt like another crack in my heart. Still, I never spoke badly about her. Instead, I worked. I focused on my career, started exercising again, reconnected with my parents, and slowly rebuilt the parts of myself I had ignored during our marriage. Healing wasn't quick. It was painful. But it was honest. Then came that message. I've had my fun. Now I'm ready to be your wife again. Not, I'm sorry. Not, can we talk? Just the expectation that I'd be waiting exactly where she'd left me. A few minutes later, she called. "I made a mistake," she said, crying. "I thought freedom would make me happy. It didn't. I miss our home." "I miss you." I listened without interrupting. Then she added something that changed everything. "I knew you'd always take me back." Those words hurt more than her leaving. She hadn't only underestimated my pain. She had underestimated my worth. I calmly asked, "Did you ever think about how I was surviving while you were gone?" The line went silent. For the first time, she had no answer. The next afternoon, she showed up at my door carrying the same 2 suitcases she had left with. She looked exhausted. The confidence she once carried had disappeared. "I know I don't deserve another chance," she whispered. "But please, let me come home." I invited her inside. We sat across from each other for nearly an hour without speaking. Finally, I handed her a small box. She opened it carefully. Inside was her wedding ring. "I kept it safe," I said. "Not because I believed you'd come back, but because I wanted to return it with respect." Tears rolled down her face. "So, does this mean you'll forgive me?" I smiled sadly. "I already have." Hope filled her eyes. "But forgiveness," I continued, "isn't the same as rebuilding trust." She lowered her head. "I loved you enough to fight for us when you wanted to leave. I loved you enough to survive after you did. Now I love myself enough not to go backward." She cried harder than I'd ever seen. "I've changed." "I believe you," I replied gently. "But some lessons arrived too late." She stood up, holding the ring tightly. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I know." She walked toward the door, paused for a moment, then quietly left. This time I didn't chase her. I closed the door, not with anger but with peace. That night I deleted the last message she had sent me, not because I hated her, because I no longer needed to keep a reminder of the man who waited for someone that had already chosen to leave. Some people think love means always giving another chance.